As we listen to people who were practicing at the firearms range behind us, you heard the president yesterday. What was your takeaway from what he had to say?
I think my take, and anybody in the firearms industry, is that it was political theater. He's doing something just to do something. I don't think you're going to see any effect of what he's proposing, and you and I will be back here in about a year. Crime will not have decreased, not one iota. And we'll be looking at more gun control because this won't work. It's not going to have any effect.
One of the things he's talking about is to crack down on online sale of guns. But you said that that's a misnomer.
It is a misnomer. There's no such thing as an online sale. If you and I were to go online and find a firearm that we liked, even if we clicked buy, we're not physically buying. You're not purchasing the gun online. You're ordering the gun online. It then gets shipped to an FFL, which is a federal licensed dealer like myself. We go through the background check when you come to purchase it. You're still going through the process. No one's shipping you a gun to your house.
So just so I understand, so if I wanted to purchase, let's say I saw someone on Craigslist selling a gun, is that illegal?
It would be illegal. Yeah, I mean, again, you have to go through the process. You have to go through a background check, a federal background check, which is the 4473, which I'm sure you'll show everybody.
That's the ATF.
That's the ATF background check.
That's the federal background check.
Correct. So it's different in every state. And obviously in New Jersey, we have a very strict process. But, again, I'm sitting in my house and I find a gun because we don't carry everything. And we tell people, if you find something online, order the gun. They'll ship it to us. We'll go through the background check, and you'll do it the legal right way.
So why does the president or people who support what the president is doing, why do they get so much traction with this, what appears to be a misnomer about you can sell guns online, it's easy to get guns?
Well, it's an old adage. If you tell a lie enough, eventually it gets believed. So the online sales, again, it doesn't exist. The fact that we're going through this gun control push, it's good political theater. Everybody gets behind it. We got to do something. We got to do something. If it can just save one life, it's not. It's not going to save any lives. It's not going to cut down on gun crime. We're going to be here again in a year talking about the same criminal statistics, and I call them criminal statistics, not gun crimes. There's a big difference.
Well, let's talk about statistics. Yeah. Even the president said yesterday the majority of deaths caused by firearms are suicide.
Right, 60%.
So if we subtract that, I mean, we have a record number of gun ownership in the United States today, and yet we have in the last 40 years, a decrease in crime related to firearms.
Correct. So you have a converse effect. You have the highest gun ownership. You have the lowest amount of crimes being used with a gun in 40 years. Yet we have a gun problem in this country. We don't really have a gun problem in this country. Again, it's getting in front of the camera. It's selling the American public on something that's just not true to push an agenda, which is a gun control agenda. I mean, we have to be honest and understand that we have a president that wants more gun control. We have have Democrats out there that want to push for gun control, and then there's reality. And reality is that we're at the lowest point that we've ever been, and gun ownership is at the highest point. We are safer than we were 8 years ago. We're just trying to present to the American public through ranges like RTSP that if you train properly, you have responsible gun owners out there.
Who's actually buying? One statistic, I think, is that 40% of the handguns sold in the United States are sold to women.
Yeah, women. When we opened up 4 years ago, we did not expect the response from women in New Jersey. We're training 40% of our customer base are women. They're training, they're buying firearms, they're getting engaged in the business, and it's a wonderful thing.
And if you look at some of the statistics, this comes from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, but in 2002, there were 7 million firearms sold.
Right.
In 2013, it was 15 million. When you hear that kind of statistic, I mean, everyone uses statistics to forward their discussion or argument. What do you think when you hear something like that?
I think, I'm vested in it. I have a gun business, so I think it's a wonderful statistic. I think, obviously, an armed society is a polite society. Legally, okay? If you go into Chicago, you're not looking at law-abiding citizens with legally bought firearms. So all the gun control measures that were pushed by the president yesterday, they all exist in Chicago. They all exist in New Jersey. Well, why hasn't crime come down? So what is it going to do to the rest of the country? Nothing. That's why I said in a year we're going to be back here and nothing's going to have changed.
Well, one of the things we hear this year or in 2015 as we go into 2016 that we hear especially is that mass shootings are at horrific levels in the United States. But you were saying that...
Is 4 a horrific level?
Well, but they're actually counting things that most people might not consider a mass shooting. For instance, if a drive-by shooting between 2 gang members is now considered a mass shooting?
So again, we get in front of the public and we whip up the frenzy, like the online gun sales, and you do the same thing with mass shootings. 344. I keep turning on the TV if I watch another network. I keep turning on the TV and I hear 344, 344. They're including the statistics of drive-by shootings and more than 2 or 3 people in Chicago being shot. That's again a misnomer. If you look at the real way to measure mass shootings, you're talking about 4. 4 qualify as a mass shooting in this country. You're looking at San Bernardino. You're looking at instances like that. That would be a mass shooting. You know, somebody driving by in Chicago, at 3 o'clock in the morning is not a mass shooting. And again, criminal, illegal gun shouldn't be counted the same way that suicide shouldn't be counted. But yet it represents 60% of that 30,000 number that the president presented yesterday.
The people who support the president's agenda would point to countries like Australia, which had was in the mid-'90s a gun buyback.
1997.
And they would say that points to success in those kind of programs.
Yeah, I think if you talk to the Australians, they give you a different definition of success. Rape, up. Home invasion, up. Battery, assault, up. So are you changing gun crime for different types of criminal assaults? You know, and again, look at the statistics. Anybody can manipulate statistics to work to fit their narrative, but all the other crimes, they went up by 30 to 60% in the UK when they banned, in Australia when they banned. So again, you're trying to affect criminal behavior by taking away the rights of a law-abiding citizen. Doesn't work. Never has.
Is that the most important thing you want people to talk about as we contemplate what the president's
100%.
proposing?
You and I are not the issue. You and I are not going to run out, and this gun's never hurt anybody. This is a good gun because I'm a good person. Okay? So by affecting me and taking away my rights, you're not affecting crime. You're not affecting crime rates. It's political theater, and you and I will be talking in another year.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.